super excited to have today David Wei from Quectel with me. He's a technology expert with cellular modules, and today we're going to present how to select the right cellular module for your IoT solution, especially looking at LTE M and Narrowband IoT. Before I will hand over to David, I just want to give you a little bit of background what we're doing here. So we are running IoT webinar sessions quite frequently, every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, and really looking at certain aspects of an IoT solution. So we already had partners from the battery manufacturer, for example, here. We will have AWS next week, or we will have, we had some customers that are presenting their IoT solution and several obstacles that they had to come over with. And basically, we would just want to share knowledge on the IoT space. I've seen in the registrants that there were a lot of new contacts, and that might not be completely aware what Amnify is doing besides these webinars. So Amnify is cellular connectivity provider, which distinguishes based on its cloud integrations. We're a German-based company, founded in 2014, and have now with our partners more than 10 million SIM cards on our platform, and have around 100 employees growing in the market. So what is Amnify about? So at the end, what, let's say, people know us for is that we provide cellular connectivity anywhere in the world. 2G, 3G, 4G in 180 countries and 540 networks. And we're also providing LTE M, Narrowband IoT, and now also recently we have signed the first 5G roaming agreement. So as it entails to this topic that we're discussing today, we have access to 55 LTE M networks in a theoretic way, and we have seen traffic on 31 countries. We have signed roaming agreements with 4 countries on Narrowband IoT. Narrowband IoT is a little bit slower with picking up because of, let's say, the technical and commercial agreements there. And as I said, we have our first agreement on 5G. Besides what we're offering, that network access, we have also a connectivity management platform that allows you to manage the SIM cards and the contracts and do nice things to support your customers. But I don't want to talk much about Amnify. Maybe just also have a reference that we have several customers in all the different verticals using our solution. Mainly B2B customers that are selling connectivity with their service. Okay, so with that, I want to hand over to David, who will present the main topic. Again, David, thanks for joining. I'm super excited and looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Kristen. Okay.
Let me. Hand over the presentation.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone. So this is David, and I'm very pleased to have a chance to give this presentation. And yeah, I am David Wei, the product director of Quicktel, and I'm based in Shanghai, China. So I'm mainly responsible for NB IoT and the Quectel product line in Quicktel. So today, there's mainly 3 topics. First, I want to give a quick introduce of Quectel, and then have to introduce some LPWA general concepts. The last one is the LPWA network status and some vertical market. Okay, now let's start with Quectel. About Quectel. So Quectel was founded in October 2010, and now we have 5 R&D centers globally. Shanghai is the headquarters. Hefei is R&D center, and Foshan, and also another R&D center in Guangzhou, China, and Belgrade, and in Europe, and Vancouver in North America. And now we listed on Shanghai Stock Exchange last year. So currently we have more than 50 sales offices worldwide, and more than 90 distributors, and 2,000 employees worldwide. And now we have monthly production capacity over 15 million pieces. And now we have more than 5,500 end customers worldwide. So in this, this picture is the headquarters. Actually, now I am staying in this building. So a very beautiful building. Okay, just a moment. Okay, yeah. This is the key figures of Quectel. Actually, have very fast increase in both shipment and revenue. And actually in 2018, we are #1 in shipment and #2 in revenue. In last year, we are #1 in both shipment and revenue. According to the insight, we now Quectel win about 24% market share till H1 this year, and widen the gap to #2. The #2 is about 30.4% market share. So yeah, this is the main product roadmap of the whole portfolio. We have 2G, 3G, and 4G, Cat 1, Cat 4, and LTE Advanced, means Cat 6 Plus, and LPWA, and 5G, and automotive modules, smart modules, TNSS, Wi-Fi, and antenna products. So we have actually Quectel can cover all the cellular applications. Today, our main topic is LPWA product lines. Yeah, in this part. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know why I cannot scroll now. Okay. Just a moment. Not scrolling the screen. Scroll. Sorry, just why it cannot scroll. Okay. Yeah. Next part, I want to give some introduction of LPWA. So what is LPWA? Actually, it is the abbreviation of low power wide area. So currently, there's 2 major cellular technologies. First is NB IoT. The second one is LTE M. Now for LPWA, I think, yeah, just like its name, it's a low power. It's low power. It is very identical features. Another one is wide area. So wide area means the better coverage. Generally, when comparing with 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, and LPWA has a much better coverage. third one is low cost. The second one is low cost. For LPWA, it's actually it's born for the low speed and for massive connections. So the cost is very sensitive. It's born for the Internet of Things. And the third one is massive connection. This is very, very suitable to the application in a very density deployment. And the fourth one is the low power consumption. Actually, this is the very unique feature for in the cellular technologies. Next one is mobility. Actually, mobility is mainly used for Quectel, and the VoLTE is also for Quectel. So in next slide, I want to explain why it can have a good coverage. When comparing to the other technologies like 2G, 3G, or 4G, the target connectivity link baggage, it means the maximum coupler loss is enhanced by about 20 dB. So the reason why we can enhance it by 20 dB is because there's mainly two technologies. First is that for LPWA, it has a very, very good PSD. The PSD means power spectral density. When comparing to 2G, it's a narrow band. So the PSD in 2G is about this value. The bandwidth is 120 kilohertz, but in narrowband IoT, the bandwidth is only 2.75 kilohertz. So the power was concentrated in a very narrow band, and so the spectral density is very high. So this is a first reason why the LPWA or NB IoT can have better coverage. And the second reason is that for NB IoT, it has repetition or retransmission mechanism. What's it mean? It means that not like other cellular technology, in NB IoT, when the first transmission is failed, and but it can try again and again, so it can repeat the transmission. So in this way, the MCL can be enhanced by about 6 dB to 16 dB. So mainly in these two ways, the coverage can be enhanced by 20 dB. So what that means? It means that, for example, in 2G, one cell can cover about 20 or 30 kilometers in an idle way. That means there is no shelter. But in NB IoT, one cell can cover more than 50 kilometers. If configured in a special value, the coverage can be up to 100 kilometers in theory. Okay, this is the enhanced coverage. Next one is low power consumption, and for NB IoT and also both Quectel M. So they are very identical application is for the low power and for the battery used application. In some industrial, like in some water meter or gas meter, this use case, that design is that the battery can last 10 years. For some special use case, like just send a very small data every single day or every week. If that's in such kind of use cases, the battery can cover 10 years. So the reason why it can have such low power consumption, that's mainly two technologies. First, in LPWA, the PSM mode was introduced. In PSM mode, the power consumption is very, very low. It's for example, the tip.
I don't know if your audio is also missing. David, seems we lost you. I'm very grateful. David is, as he said, in Shanghai, and it's quite late, so he's dialing in from home. There might be some connectivity issues. Let's hope he's getting back. Yeah, I think it's a very critical slide that David is showing. So the two features, PSM and DDRX, are let's say two of the cornerstones of the both LP1 technologies, LTE M and Narrowband IoT, that are improving the power consumption. I hope that David will be able to join his audio shortly, so he can continue with the presentation. David, now I heard something.
Sorry.
Now it's working. Now it's working, David. You're back.
Wow. Sorry, I don't know why. You lost me now. Okay, let's use headset. That's the moment.
I tried to bridge the time. Okay, thank you. Let's continue.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back. Yeah. Okay. The second one is have eDX. Comparing to the DX in 2G. So these two technology help a lot for the low power consumption. Okay, next one is massive connectivity. In ideal mode, more than 50,000 devices are allowed to attach in one cell, per cell. This is very, very giant when compared to 2G or 4G. In 2G, 3G, or 4G, the maximum is about 500. So that's about 10 times of the attached devices are allowed. Okay, so there's some special system design for massive links, like narrowband, like decreased signal interaction, like node optimization, and the core net optimization. So okay, at low cost, I think this is a hot topic. The cost is always a hot topic. So when comparing to Cat 4 or Cat 1 or Cat 0, so NB IoT and Cat M have a very simple chipset and hardware architectures, so which helps to decrease the cost of the from both chipset side and the module side. And what's more, from customer side, there is some single that's simple designs, like in NB IoT only one antenna is required. However, in Cat 4 there's need two antenna. So also the memory size, and also the memory is also very small when comparing to other technologies. Okay, I think the cost is dropped more and more in recent years when more and more chipset and module players jump into this game. Okay, yeah, just like I said, since LPWA has so many advantages when comparing to 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. So yeah, the connections is growing very fast. Here you can see the blue color stands for 2G. You can see according to the board inside, this is a survey institute. The 2G will falling from 2019 to 2023, falling very obviously. As we know now, in many regions, worldwide now, the 2G was locked down. Yeah. So, however, on the other side, the LPWA, which is represented by orange and red color, increased dramatically. You can see it's very dramatically. So this is very obvious comparison here. Okay, now I want to have quick introduce of LPWA history. Actually, LPWA was born from 3GPP R13. So in this version, some unique features like PSM, like EDX, like coverage enhancement. So all this very basic feature of NB IoT or Cat M are introduced in this version in R13. That's from its born, and now we are here. In some places, R13 is used. I think the most of the carriers are deploying R13. In some regions, R14 is already deployed, especially in China. I think the three big carriers announced that all their network will be upgraded to I14 at the end of this year. I think the similar situation is in the Europe carriers. Okay, and from then it will growing to R15 and I16. In R15, I think more and more features are added, like the TDD, like improved latency and improved power consumption, or something like that. And from R16, the NB IoT and the Cat M will be connected to the 5G core internet. Yeah, in 5G, it means from R16, the NB IoT and the eMTC will be called MMTC. So it's just share the same core internet of 5G. So this is the whole history from history to the future. It's a whole involvement here. Okay. Next, I want to introduce the LPWA power network deployment. So this map is just from GSMA plus Quectel. Just I confirmed with our our local colleagues, Quectel has a lot of maybe have all the present in all the world. I can check with my colleagues from different country with them to check the carrier's deployment status. So the purple color stands for the LTE and NB IoT, and the blue color stands for the NB IoT only in this map. So you can see in the Europe and most of the Asia region, like in China, India, and also the Southeast Asia, and in this region, NB IoT is mature. In the rest, like in the America and some of the Europe region, and in the Australia, the Japan, and both KTM and NB IoT are deployed. But in these regions, the KTM are being preferred and much maturer than NB IoT. So yeah, this we can see the major status in the yellow region. Mainly the KTM is commercially deployed. Of course, NB IoT is also there, but when comparing to KTM, I think the commercial level is not so high. Okay, however, in the green color, the NB IoT is preferred. The network is very, very good than.
I think we lost David again. Yeah, no, there's David has a.
Me now?
Oh, now you're back. Great.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
Something wrong with my headset. I use the computer phone. Okay. Yeah. This table shows that the details of different network in different regions. In the first column, you can see the country or regions. The second is operators and the bands, and that's totally three sets. Till now, there's total 111 pieces of NB IoT network in the worldwide. Here you can see, actually it can cover all the corner in the world. It's page 1. This is page 2. Since there's too many NB IoT deployment here. I think even now, more and more operators in the US, in Australia, in Japan, and in Europe will have their NB IoT network commercial. Okay, this one is KTM. When comparing to NB IoT, there's less carriers deployed KTM network. Totally about 58 pieces of KTM network in worldwide. I think the best one is in the USA, like in Verizon, AT&T.
I'm sorry for that. Obviously with the long distance there's some audio issues. David, we cannot hear you again. I like these slides because they have like a lot of intel on which bands are used, and it's quite a collective effort from David to get all this information together, because usually the information you get from GSMA, for example, are not very accurate. So you have to talk to the different operators, which David did. So happy that he collected that information. David, I hope you getting back your audio.
now?
There you are again.
Yes. Hello? Can you hear me
Yes.
now? Oh, my God. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know why my voice lost occasionally. Okay, here in this table, I just make a summary of Quectel M and NB IoT. My purpose is just give a quick picture of the pros, cons, and some suitable applications of Quectel M and NB IoT. Okay, let's come check one by one. For Quectel M, I think the main pro is a high data rate when comparing to NB IoT. Generally the Quectel M is 300 kilobps. No voice.这咋办 ？Hello.
David, you're back.
Okay, now. Okay. In Quectel M, the data rate, the typical data rate is about 300 kilobps, and I think. Lost me again.
No, we can hear you, David.
Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Kristen, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. The second one is roaming, especially in the Europe countries. For some mobility use cases, they may be used in different countries. Use different operators. So roaming is necessary for them. And third one is VoLTE, especially for some emergency call use cases. And it also matches high speed mobility scenarios, like in some vehicle tracker, and can suitable to such kind of use case. And last one is GNSS. For Quectel M modules and chipsets, maybe all the Quectel M modules can support GNSS. This is a pros. However, there's some cons, like the cost is high. The cost is high, and the power consumption is also higher than pure NB solutions. Maybe that's the reason is that the Quectel M chipset is more complex than pure NB chipset, like the memory configure and some processor that I think that's more advanced than pure NB IoT. Okay, for Quectel M, a suitable application is the mobile scenario. That's like I mentioned just now. And also some applications need a certain data rate. I mean, it's not too high and also not too low. So like some camera, a monitor, the gateway, such kind of data rate requirement. And the last one is some scenario need the voice, like the keyed watch, as you know, for some emergency call, the keyed bag. Yeah, for NB IoT, the pros are very evident, like the low cost, low power consumption, and the better coverage. And yeah, the better coverage, I think, is about 10 dB better. The MCR. MCR means the maximum coupling loss when comparing to Quectel M. Okay, and the third one is can match most of the stationary use cases, and also some middle and low mobility scenarios, like some bicycle tracker, and some electric bicycle tracker, something like that. It's a low and a middle speed.
And last one is GNSS is not supported by pure NB mode. Okay, the cons is that have low data rate and no voice. The second one is long latency. I think the long latency is mainly caused by the low data rate. Okay, the third one is no roaming currently. Okay, for a suitable application, it's scenarios, it's stationary scenarios like the water, gas, heat, power meters, smart parking, and smart fire hydrant, smart smoke detector, street lighting, and smart dustbin, and smart home, smart city. Later, I will elaborate more on these applications. And another suitable application is that the cost extremely sensitive applications. You know, for some applications, since the volume is very big, so the cost is very critical to the customers. Okay, for Quectel has both Quectel and NB IoT solutions. For the Quectel, we now have Qualcomm chipset-based modules like BG96, B95, BG77, and BG600. And later, I'll have a quick review on this module. For pure NB module, we have 9 Qualcomm chipsets based, like BC65, B66, 66-NA, and 660 key.
I have to apologize. That's again another audio issue. David, we lost you again. David? Yeah, I think the slide that David showed, let's say, very well the comparison CAT-M and Narrowband IoT. I see that there are already some questions that we will answer later on, or if David is not going back, I'm just going to start with the questions.
Hello, Kirsten, can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Okay, please continue, David.
Yeah, I know why. Sorry, I hope next time we can get a better connection, the voice.
Yeah, and the prep calls, it always worked fine. I don't know why now. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let's move on. This is the typical applications for LPWA scenarios. We can divide it into 4 parts. First one is public utilities. The second one is industry and agriculture, smart life, and smart home. For the public utilities, we can have some details, a vertical market like all kind of metering and smart parking and fire hydrant, smart smoke detector, street light, and smart dustbin. All these kind of applications belong to public utilities. And regarding industry and agriculture, there's like gas detector and soil pH or optical sensors, a machine alarm, and also I think gateway or irrigation controller, such kind of applications. For the smart life, I think most of them are belong to the tracking, like asset tracking, wearable device tracking, and the person or pet tracking of this kind of applications. The last one is smart home. For smart home, I think for smart home, some like a smart door lock and the smart air condition, something like that. And for different scenario, I think need different technologies. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. I think for public utility, industrial and agriculture, and smart home and NB IoT will sell to them well. But for smart life, for tracking, Quectel might be will be a preferred option. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next, since LPWA is so good, and where is the LPWA solutions? Okay, here Quectel can provide all the all solutions on both NB IoT and Quectel. So here, this is the roadmap of Quectel's roadmap on LPWA. So now for Quectel, we have Qualcomm chipset solutions. Currently, we have actually BG96, B95, and BG77, or this BG600L. So I think in order to get a quick review, I just list the unique features of different models here. For example, for BG96, the unique feature is that it's mature since it ran into MP 3 years ago for BG96. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, totally about 10 million pieces shipment, and it's the accumulated volumes. For BG5 series, we have have abundant SKUs, has 8 SKUs, and for customer side, one hardware can cover all the scenarios. Here we have catch M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, and all these kind of SKUs. So for example, M1 is support Quectel only, one mode. For M2 support 2 modes, like it support NB and plus Quectel. M3 is support 3 mode, Quectel, NB, and 2G. M4 support based on M3 is plus band 31, it's 450 megahertz. M5, M6 support Power Class 3, and M8 supports LTE plus Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is mainly for indoor locations. Here. Okay, for BG77, this one is smallest module. Its size it's only 12 about by 14 by 1.7. It's very small. And for BG600L, it's the smallest. A small size for 3 mode. For M3 mode, it support Quectel, NB plus 2G. For BC66 is very new. We are now designing it, and the engineer sample is expected on October. This one. Okay, that's for Quectel, for Qualcomm solutions. For pure NB IoT modules, we have 3 chipset solutions. First is Unisoc. And I think for Unisoc, I'm afraid most of you are not familiar with them. But you know, it's very famous in China. In the past, there's Spreadtrum. Spreadtrum is it's widely used. The chipset is widely used in the feature phone age. Actually, Unisoc is a merged company of Spreadtrum and IDA. IDA is a company for the RF front end component. So the BC65 is, I think this chipset has the best cost efficiency. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? No? Hi, Kristen, can you hear me?
We can hear you well. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, for this BC65, it has the best cost efficiency. It means the performance is very good. I mean, the price is very honest. Yeah. Okay, for BC92, this one is the best option for NB plus 2G. I think it's maybe very suitable for the regions where the NB is just in the beginning, but the 2G is already there, like in India, like most of the Europe countries. and in the South Africa, such kind of regions. Okay. HiSilicon, I think you already know them very well. Actually, BC95 is the first NB modules in the worldwide. Is the first NB module. Till now, we have shipped about 40 million pieces this module. And the BC68, this is the same chipset of BC95, but the size is smaller. And for this two, is the new one. Actually, it will be based on HiSilicon V200. Actually, this chipset is the first i15 chipset. So, just like I mentioned just now, i15, for i15, there's more new features are added here. So this is the first i15 chipset, and also this two modules is the first i15 modules. For MediaTek, I think we have BC36 and BC60-NA. There's nothing new more. For NA, there's some two more band are added, which is two more T-Mobile special band 71 and band 85, which is required in the US market. Okay, since there's too many modules, but the footprint for customer side, the footprint is very simple. That's mean two footprint. First is we call it 6 family. All the modules named with 6 can share the one footprint. Okay, here you can see yeah, for the BC.
David, I think we lost you again, and I'm also looking at the time. We are, I think, due to the audio issues, we kind of running over time. David? There are already so many questions on the line, and I would really like to give you the possibility to answer them. David, let me know if you can hear me. Please, can you check this chat maybe? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, due to the given time, I would already start with some of the questions which I can answer, or which are more directed, let's say, to the Amnify side.
Hello.
So, there you
are.
Hey,
hello?
Hey, David. Yes,
okay,
now we can hear you. Now we can hear you. David, I would suggest it's already, yeah, we only have 9 minutes left, and we have already around about 10 questions. I would suggest that we, let's say, postpone the slides. We can send out the slides after the presentation and really give the audience a chance to answer some questions. Would you be fine?
Yeah, I think I'm fine. Okay then.
Yeah. Okay.
I will finish it all. Okay.
Okay, then let me. So everyone should see the questions panel from GoToWebinar, and you should be able to ask question. I've already seen that there are some questions already on there. Please use the chat window to ask questions. So the first question is, in Japan, one operator dropped Narrowband IoT support. Is it safe enough to only rely on Narrowband IoT module for the next 10 years in Germany, or is it safer to choose a module with 2G, LTE M, and Narrowband IoT integrated? So comment says also question for either David or Christian. So David, maybe you start with your answer, and I can maybe add to it.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah, I think. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes, David.
Okay. Yeah, I think for safety, I think the NB IoT plus Quectel will be better. But I think what 2G is not so necessary. 2G is, I think will be off the history soon. especially in Europe, some countries. I think maybe in the next 10 years.
Yeah, what I would add is with Narrowband IoT and LTE M, of course, although operators have launched these technologies, there are some white spots, and it really depends on your use case. If you have a static use case where, let's say, the device is deployed in a certain region, you probably can use either Narrowband IoT and LTE M. It will be safe. I don't think that I think it was KDDI that discontinued Narrowband IoT. I don't think that this will happen in the European or North American markets. The operators just recently adopted the technology and heavily invested in it. And I don't see that as a trend. It's the only operator that I'm aware of that is going down that path. And for me, currently, I see from our customer base that, let's say, 95% of the modules have support these three technologies, especially the Quectel modules are their leading technology, at least on our platform. Then there's another question, why Narrowband IoT is better for static devices and LTE M for mobile devices?
Yeah, for LTE, for NB IoT, there's cannot support the roaming. And also the data rate is very low, so there's some long latency. I think, but NB IoT is the very good cost efficiency. So for the stationary application, it will be a better options. But for Quectel M, in some regions it need roaming. For example, if we move to from this country to another country, have to use different operators, so roaming is needed. And the second one is that Quectel M has a higher data rate compared to NB IoT, so that the latency is better, so it can support the mobility use cases.
Yeah, I think also for what we see, of course, Narrowband IoT is very dominant in smart metering. If the network supports Narrowband IoT, so very low data traffic, stationary use case. But also there are, of course, static use cases that have higher data rates or more data to transport. Then actually LTE M has some advantages, because then, let's say, the time that the device needs to stay online and consume power is reduced, but then really depends on where, let's say, the cutoff is between Narrowband IoT and LTE M. The higher the volume, at one point LTE M is more power friendly than the Narrowband IoT, but really for as David said, for the smart meters, for heat monitoring, where you just send some data over, Narrowband IoT provides better power consumption. The one question directly on the Quectel modem, I think it was already answered in the presentation, but let me repeat the question again. Can the Cat M modules run in Narrowband IoT mode, BG96?
Yes, BG96 can support the IoT and Cat M.
Yes, that's also what I understood. What you can say about roaming with LTE M? It's another question.
Yeah, actually, I checked with our local colleagues in the US and also in Europe, and they told me that roaming works.
Exactly. So that's locally, also that's what we're seeing. I mean, we have, as I said, the Quectel modules on our network that support Narrowband IoT and LTE M. The adoption for LTE M is higher because roaming is supported, and Amnify is always taking a roaming use case. narrowband IoT, I think this goes also in line with another question that we have here, is about the adoption or the increase of roaming. Narrowband IoT roaming requires, let's say, an adoption of the roaming agreement and a new commercial model. And as we already have 4 roaming agreements signed, it's like a one by one network negotiation, and it will take a little bit of time to really have a proper footprint to support mobile roaming use cases.
Yeah, I just add one more information that all Quectel LPWA modules support multi-band. So it means it's support global band. So roaming is not issues from the module side. I think if the only depend on the operators support that, a module can support it.
Yeah, that's what I like about the low power features or the low power modules. With LTE modules, you always had to look for where you want to deploy, because there your module may not be working, but Quectel modules actually can be deployed worldwide, so you don't need to look out to if you send your devices in multiple regions. Oh man, it's a very good session. We have a lot of questions. We have 3 more minutes. I will try to concentrate on some. What is the difference between narrowband 1 and narrowband 2?
Oh, okay. For narrowband 1, the major difference is the data rate. For narrowband 1, it's supported by R13. The data rate is about 20 or 30 kilobps. But for narrowband NB2, the data rate is up to 120 to 150 kilobps. So I think the major difference is the data rate. NB2 is supported from R14.
And I think you already shown that, let's say in China, R14 is deployed, whereas in other networks that may not be the case. I think narrowband 1 is currently the standard if you access narrowband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there's is BG95 or BG600L M3 available with ATEX explosion protection certification? That's interesting for me. I don't know what explosion protection is. Maybe you can comment on that, David.
ATEX, no, ATEX is certification related to some explosive application. Yeah, we have planned for those modules. Actually, currently our BC66 already got the TA of ATEX. So for other modules, we have planned. That depend on customers. That depend on the market requirement. Once there's market requested, we also can do that. It's no problem.
Okay, then there's a question. The map presented showed the most of Eastern European and Asia. They currently only support narrowband IoT. Do you have an estimate of how will the support of LTE M will grow in that area?
So I think it's interesting, questions. In China, actually, for last year, there is some discussion on Quectel M or Quectel 1 by the operators like China Mobile, by China Telecom, and finally we switched to Quectel 1 instead of Quectel M for the middle data rate application. But I think for NB IoT, I think there is no questions for all the operators. So for a map, you also can see all the regions with Quectel M also support also have the plan for NB IoT. However, in the regions of NB IoT, there's no plan for Quectel M. Why? Because the Quectel M is displaced by Quectel 1. That's the reason. I think, yeah, it's a very interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, that's very good questions. And
Yeah.
thanks. Then I have here. I had one which was going in the direction of 5G, which I wanted to. I think there was some concern. I cannot find. There's like really tons of questions, and maybe David, can you say some words on, let's say, the migration to 5G? If now people are adopting low power, will they need to, let's say, return the modules once 5G is deployed?
Actually, NB IoT and Quectel M will be one sub-technology of 5G. It will belong to 5G from R16. It's called MMTC. It's belong to 5G. Sorry, maybe I didn't.
No, so my understanding is that basically it's, let's say, the Narrowband IoT and LTE M will be integrated in 5G. So everything that is 5G will take that technology, and there's no let's say, that will not be a technology shift where then there is a new module needed for that.
Yeah, actually, in 5G, there's two extreme directions. One is very, very high speed, and then another one is very low speed. So it's two opposite extreme directions in 5G network.
Exactly. Okay, so I think we ran over 5 minutes. My last words. So we unfortunately need to stop. I will try to get back to the questions together with David and try to answer them offline. Just one last word, because of course we want to give you continuous information. So we have the 2 webinars scheduled for actually next week, Thursday again, and the week after Thursday, with 2 great co-hosts. One is with AWS, so how to add connectivity to IoT solution without worrying about operations. And in 2 weeks' time, we have a, let's say, very adjacent topic about what are the testing and certification requirements for cellular IoT devices. Definitely, if you, for example, use modules by Quectel, these certification and testing requirements are a lot less than if you take the chips. But here, Raul will give a great overview on what you need to consider when you want to certify your devices, also regarding carrier certification and so on. So hope you find these topics interesting, and please register to the webinars. We will send out the recording afterwards with the summary, and you will also get the links to these webinars. So I hope you find this useful. David, thanks for joining us. It was a great session. Also there were these audio sessions. I think the questions, so that this was really helpful, and there are a lot of questions here, a high interest on that topic. Okay, and great. David, then speak to you soon, and to all the ones that were listening in, have a great day, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.